want the freshest produce around? You want Hy-Vee.
From homegrown fruits and vegetables
to a wide selection of organics.
The berries are the best, but personally, I'm a big kiwi fan.
You know, the darker the greens, the better for you.
Now this is good fast food.
This is the Warrior Spotlight on the Warrior Sports Network. We have in-depth analysis from coaches, student athletes with complete game recaps and previews. Here's your host, Don B.
Welcome back. Welcome to the Warrior Spotlight Show. I'm Don Veith, alongside me Josh Auerbach and Steve Carter. We're going to talk about football. To start off with the Warriors playing the Upper Iowa Peacocks this upcoming Saturday, tomorrow at 1 p.m. down at Fayette, Iowa. It'll be a Peacock weekend. We'll talk about it a little later, though. What else dangerous is the game? 2-1 overall, 1-1 in the NSIC. Upper Iowa 0-3 overall, 0-2 in the NSIC. Warriors are coached, of course, by Tom Sawyer, who has 119 wins, 46 losses overall. Tom Shea, second season, 3-11 overall record. Let's see, a series so far for the Warriors looking pretty good on their end versus the Peacocks. They've averaged probably about 40 points a game versus the Peacocks. Upper Iowa, at least this round, the single digits, about 7 points a game. Steve, you're doing a game tomorrow, our caller analyst. What do you expect to see out of the Warriors tomorrow?
Out of the Warriors tomorrow, I see a sense of urgency, maybe a little more running approach, as they only had 83 yards rushing against St. Cloud State. I see them defeating Upper Iowa by a big margin, as just a comeback game. Get ready for the big 3 games after this week. You have Mankato at home, then you go at Minnesota Duluth, and then you're home against Augustana College. But this weekend, it's the calm before the storm. You get through Upper Iowa, you make make sure everything's okay, everybody's on task. You get Eric Steiny back this week, get him back into the mix, get Evan Aber back rolling as he was the first 2 games. Just make sure everything's ready for the big 3-game stretch in October.
There's been a big time stretch coming up. Yesterday in the luncheon, Coach Sawyer was talking about these are the 3 games coming up that are going to make or break our season, considering that you're looking at 3 teams who are ranked at least in the top 30 in the nation, with Duluth at number 2 right now, Mankato in that top 20, Augustana at least in the top 30. Also, you have the homecoming game, which will be the end of that last 3 versus Augustana. Then we have the night game versus Mankato. So it's going to be a very interesting task for the Warriors. Talk about a little bit on the Peacocks, and what do they need to do to at least give themselves a shot to at least maybe upset the Warriors here?
Well, the Peacocks are 0-3 on the year. They're 0-2 in the NSIC. They've got crushed by Minnesota Duluth, and then they lost by 4 points last week to Minnesota State University Moorhead, who Winona State fans know all about, as Winona State took care of them pretty easily here at home in the first home game. But Upper Iowa, they've used 2 quarterbacks on the season, but Ben Curran looks to be the one starter for this weekend. Threw for over 300 yards in a game, and I think with Lucas Wolf out, I think that's what the Peacocks are going to use to maybe put some points on the board. They're going to use their passing game, kind of get away from their rushing attack, and they really try to pound the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, they run a almost high school like 4-4 defense, where they have 8 guys in the box almost all time. So they're really going to key on the Warrior run offense throughout most of the game, and I think that's really going to open it up for Evan Aber. And if he can be efficient and accurate with his passes, and the single coverage should easily be beaten by Derek Engel and company, as I don't see a corner on the Peacocks roster that could keep up with any Warrior wide receiver.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting matchup tomorrow. The weather's going to be a little bit of a factor. It's going to be kind of cool like it is right now. After all the rain in the last couple of days, you aren't expecting a clean turf. I went there last week, and the turf was kind of a little bit torn up already, so I can't imagine it being very good after almost 3 straight days of rain we've had over here, that monsoon type weather. So it's going to be interesting for the Warriors, especially when we broadcast that game live on 106statewarriors.com. Also, another side note, vote for head coach Tom Sawyer. Go to 106statewarriors.com for that one. He's currently in second place in the Coach of the Year balloting right now, followed by Duluth, who's in first place. So we're going to take a quick break, and after this we'll have an interview with assistant head coach Bruce Carpenter, so stay tuned for that. You're listening to the Warrior Spotlight Show on 106statewarriors.com.
New friends, when you save them money on trucks. Like a new 2011 Toyota Tacoma. Our regular cab is under $21,000. The best-selling compact pickup for 5 years in a row. Making new friends every day at Dahl Toyota in Winona.
All right, Coach, traveling up to St. Cloud in that hostile environment of Husky Stadium, how is the St. Cloud defense able to get so much pressure on Evan Aber?
Well, it's kind of their MO. That's what we expected when we were going into the game, that they were going to bring a lot of pressure and blitzes. And, you know, we only gave up 2 sacks, but I think they did obviously get some pressure on us and change some of our thought processes. But just a good football team. A lot of athletic kids running around, and they do a nice job with it.
Despite the -2 turnover margin, the offense was still able to march up and down the field with a passing attack. What did those drives late in the fourth quarter tell you about your offensive squad?
We know we got a lot of kids that are talented and that aren't going to quit when we get behind. And we handled the 2-minute drill pretty well. We just didn't finish in the red zone. So there's a lot of good things that came out of the game, just not the outcome that we wanted.
Evan Aber had his first collegiate interception for a touchdown. How could you rate his performance up there in St. Cloud in that environment?
He didn't have his best game. He had 2 really good games for being a first-time starter, and the way he handled himself, the way he handled things. And St. Cloud did, like you said early, did a nice job with pressure. And it's not that he didn't handle it, but he could have handled it better. There's things we could have done a little bit better. So I'd rate him down a little bit from game 1 and 2, but it was a great learning experience for him.
Despite the loss, what are some positives that you saw out of your offensive squad and maybe the entire Warrior team?
Again, I think how we battled back, how hard our kids played, how they stayed into it, and we gave ourselves an opportunity there at the end more than once to get a touchdown, to get that tying touchdown and see where things went. We just didn't finish. So, again, I'm excited about a lot of the things that we're doing, and we need to get better at them.
Looking ahead to this Saturday, heading down to Upper Iowa, what are some things that you guys are really going to stress and work on this week in practice that'll help you get a victory against Upper Iowa?
I think coming off a loss, it's always back to the basics and making sure there's some little things that maybe you didn't do a great job stressing as you were preparing for a big game, and you kind of were looking more at the big picture and the schemes and the things you wanted to do. And we need to get back to the basics. Upper Iowa will be ready for us, and they've shown an ability in the last couple of years to give some people some tough games, and we need to be ready to play, or else we'll struggle down there if we're not prepared.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you very much.
We are turning on the lights, so come out and wear your white. Support Warrior football as we host Minnesota State Mankato on October 2nd at 6 p.m.
We are Warrior Volleyball, and we need you in white. For our match against Northern State at 4:30 just before football.
We are Warrior Soccer, and you should start with us October 2nd.
Wear white to 3 Warrior events in one day. All the action starts at noon.
We are warriors, born from the light, an army for freedom, defenders of light.
This is the Warrior Spotlight on the Warrior Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Warriors Spotlight Show, where we have Assistant Athletic Director Travis Whipple here with me. It's been kind of a slow week for the Warriors, at least here in town. Another weekend where all our teams seem like they're out of town, and we have to watch either travel or watch our teams on TV. But we have a lot of things coming up here in the next couple of weeks. You want to talk about what Warrior fans should be expecting here in a very busy October coming up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's been a couple of weeks here where we haven't had a lot of home events, and next weekend's going to be a great one, October 1st through the 3rd. A lot of great events happen. Of course, you just saw the commercial about the October 2nd Whiteout 3 Warrior events in one day. Should be great. Starts out with soccer at noon, volleyball 4:30, and then, of course, the night football game at 6. But all weekend long, we're whiting out breast cancer, and so we really hope to get as many of the community members involved this weekend, or this coming weekend. Should be a great one. Starts out Friday night with volleyball, of course the Saturday events, and then Sunday soccer's back home at 1. So should be a great weekend. A lot of important games coming up here at home that we need to really take care of business. But $1 per every ticket sold at all 5 of those events next weekend goes to Winona Health Mammography Department and supports breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, it's always a great cause to be part of. I know we've been part of that for the last few years, and lots of money being put into that program.
It's a vital cause, and we love that we can keep it local and help those who also in return help us out. So it's just a great partnership. Been a great event, and over the last few years it's been some of the best attended events that we've had. So looking forward to a great weekend and a lot of important games.
I expect a monster crowd, at least for the football game. People love those night games. I know last year we had the Carson Newman game, one of our largest attended games in quite a long time here at Winona State.
You just don't get too many night games, and I think fans really like it and enjoy it. Great atmosphere under the lights, and of course a big rivalry with Minnesota State University Mankato.
Yeah, homecoming coming up in a few weeks. What should be the expectations for a Warrior fan for this year's homecoming?
Well, I think a lot of great events surrounding homecoming, tremendous buzz around campus going on, but I think the biggest thing from athletics is the October 15th dedication of the new Athletic Hall of Fame here in Memorial Hall in the Integrated Wellness Complex. So that's something really neat. We're trying to get all of the past Hall of Fame members back as we have the new interactive kiosks that are going to go in here in the next couple of weeks, and that's all going to be finalized. It's just going to be a beautiful place to display all of our storied history.
Yeah, another big thing for us right this week, we crossed 2,000 fan plateau for Facebook. It was one of our biggest goals coming into this year, and we were the first one in the conference to do so.
Yeah, we're excited. We love that fans are supporting our Facebook page, and I think they're also getting a lot of new and interesting content from us, and it's just, again, it's one of those partnership things. It's great to see, and we want to keep our fans informed and updated, and we hope we can continue to grow that. Next goal, Don, is 3,000, so get moving.
Well, we'll try that one. A lot of people, at least on our Facebook page, have kind of joined in the head coach Tom Sawyer campaign for D2 Coach of the Year.
Well, that's a really neat promo by Liberty Mutual, and he's really made significant jumps here the last few days and into last week, and I think a lot of that's due to website and Facebook and Twitter and all those things. So we just encourage fans to keep voting for Coach Sawyer. A donation comes back to the Alumni Society here on campus if he is in fact the winner, and so it'd be really neat to obviously a great coach, has had a tremendous career here and is a deserving honor, but it would also be neat to get some some money back to our Alumni Society.
Yeah, it's been interesting following that this whole week. Coach Sawyer was probably in 6th place with about 70 votes earlier this week, and all of a sudden today he's in 2nd place, only second to Duluth Sky, and he's only about 460 votes back, and it was about a 800 vote gap a few days ago. So I think he has a shot of legitimately taking first there.
Absolutely, and part of the voting criteria too, as the voting continues on, there's a period where they'd really look at here at the end of the competition. So we really want fans to continue to vote and know that you can vote every day. And so it's not just a one-time vote and done. So you can continue to go on there. Right on our WinonaStateWarriors.com main page, there's a drop-down. Click on that, and it really takes only a couple seconds to vote.
It's not a very long process. I know we were talking about putting up a computer during our next football game, about doing something like that so fans can vote easily during the game.
Yeah, I think it's something to look forward to. We're checking out the options, looking at it, talking with Liberty Mutual about the possibility of having a couple of kiosks down there where people can come and just vote as they enter the game. So we'll keep all of our fans posted, Facebook, Twitter, and of course on our website.
All right, thank you, Travis. We're going to take another break here, and after this, we'll have Kyle Demke here talking about cross country.
Phobia.
It sounds more like a disease.
Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
This is one of the things that I hear from people is they have this financial psychophobia. And just the whole idea of getting their finances straight with Merchants Bank. When I walk into the lobby, there's always somebody who smiles at me and makes me feel welcome. Merchants Bank is really the bank that
I chose Winona State because student athletes graduate at a higher rate
I can stay closer to home
and being an important part of the community. I chose Winona State because I can double major.
and take part in campus activities. I chose Winona State because the classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time to spend with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship.
I chose Winona State for all these reasons and more. I chose Winona State.
Are you looking for great off-campus housing? Great River Management and Sales has a large selection of houses and apartments representing many of Winona's property owners. Owners and renters rely on Great River Management. Stop by the Great River Boat at Main and Broadway and see what we can do for you.
We are turning on the lights, so come out and wear your white. Support Warrior football as we host Minnesota State Mankato on October 2nd at 6 p.m.
We are Warrior Volleyball, and we need you in white. For our match against Northern State at 4:30 just before football.
We are Warrior Soccer, and you should start with us October 2nd.
Wear white to 3 Warrior events in one day. All the action starts at noon.
This is the Warrior Spotlight on the Warrior Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Warrior Spotlight Show. I'm Don Veith. Alongside me here is Kyle Demke, cross-country runner for the Warriors. Kyle, you guys already had a few meets so far this season. How has that been going for you guys?
We've actually had a really great season so far. No complaints. We got a lot of new guys and girls this year that have really stepped up and actually put on some really good showings for us.
Talk about yourself personally. How do you feel you've been running during these meets?
Me personally, I actually have not been running very well. I've been dealing with some knee issues. But I think there's so many new guys on the team that have really stepped up that, they just kind of fill the hole. So,
name off some of those guys since you mentioned some of these people.
Our new guys, we have Patrick and Clay that have really been good for us, and Kai. They're all 3 new and transfers. They've just really stepped up, top 5 guys, running this weekend at the GRIAC. So.
Yeah, you guys got to meet this weekend. How's that going to go? Tell us a little bit about that.
It's the GRIAC. It's our biggest meet of the year. It's up at the University of Minnesota, one of the biggest races in the country. They have Division I, Division II, Division III, and high school races throughout the day at the U of M golf course. It'll be a good test of our competition. All the schools in our conference pretty much will be there. All the other big schools will be there. All of the schools in our region as well. So.
Weather's not been too friendly to you guys right now. You guys have been probably practicing outside in the weather. How's that been going? And the meet this weekend. How do you guys prepare between a sunny meet or the kind of weather like right now?
Well, for sunny, you always got to be hydrated. No matter what the weather is, got to be hydrated. The weather right now, actually, it maybe not so much the pouring rain, but the rain itself is kind of nice, compared to the beginning of the season where we're running in the 90-degree humidity. So we'll take this cooler weather, but you always just got to be prepared for muddy courses, but that's kind of just to be expected in cross country.
You guys have like different pairs of shoes you guys wear for that, or just the standard ones?
Everybody pretty much wears spikes or racing flats. There are some people who just wear regular running shoes, but you have half-inch spikes that'll really dig into the ground, especially at a golf course. That's really helpful.
Looking ahead, how do you guys think you can do here in the conference and this for the rest of the season?
As long as we stay healthy, we should place much better than last year in the conference. From a guy's standpoint, the girls, again, are always going to be fighting for those top couple spots. Like I said earlier, with the new guys really stepping up, it's an improvement in the conference is ahead of us.
So who else in the conference are you guys really targeting towards, or who is the one school you guys are really fighting to be with?
You always have your Mankato and Duluth and Augustana. They're always up on top. So I guess kind of more of those middle-of-the-pack schools with the same Concordia and I guess just all the other schools. We are all kind of right in the middle of the pack. We all kind of fight for those 4, 5, 6 spots. So.
Yeah, you mentioned Mankato. Next week you'll be going to the football game. A check presentation for you, which would be pretty exciting. I don't know how you have the time to go to all these events, considering that you're a runner here during this time of season. How do you make it to all these games, and where do you find the time?
It's the games are all at night, so I guess I can't complain about that. Trying to spread my time between soccer and volleyball during the week, and then the football games are probably the toughest. It's nice that the game's at night. But usually their games being on Saturdays. Our meets are on Saturdays. It's tough to get to them, but I just like to support my friends and fellow athletes. So it's nice to get out there and see how they're doing.
So I guess are you trying to gun for being the person who goes to the most events this year, or trying to repeat your title?
It'd be really cool to repeat the title. If I don't, that's quite all right. Like I said last year, I wasn't even gunning for the title. I was just going just to go to the games because I care, and I like to watch the sporting events. To get it again would be awesome, but 1 year is fine with me. The scholarship's it's an honor.
I know it's hard to put you on the spot here. Of any of our events, which ones would be your favorite ones to go to?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's probably got to be basketball. The atmosphere for basketball is just so much. It's so upbeat. There's so many people there. It's great to see everybody out there, and they're exciting, fun games.
All right, thank you, Kyle, for being with us here today. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back after this on the Warrior Spotlight Show.
We are turning on the lights, so come out and wear your white. Support Warrior football as we host Minnesota State Mankato on October 2nd at 6 p.m.
We are Warrior Volleyball, and we need you in white. For our match against Northern State at 4:30 just before football.
We are Warrior Soccer, and you should start with us October 2nd.
Wear white to 3 Warrior events in one day. All the action starts at noon.
Power, intensity, courage, teamwork, reaching back for more, knowing you're a champion. That's our purple. Winona State Athletics. Find your purple.
This is the Warrior Spotlight on the Warrior Sports Network. We have in-depth analysis from coaches, student athletes with complete game recaps and previews. Here's your host, Don V.
Welcome back to the Warrior Spotlight Show. I'm Don V, and back with me is Josh Auerbach. We're going to talk about volleyball. Volleyball has a big game tonight down in Fayette, Iowa. Talked about it a little bit early today, where we have the volleyball team playing in Fayette today, and then the football team travels to Fayette tomorrow. So it's kind of a Peacock weekend. Warrior Volleyball also played the Peacocks earlier this week. Josh, how did the volleyball team do against them?
Yeah, certainly.
they did get a win again on Tuesday. Since the last time we talked, last Friday, since the last show, Warriors have played 3 games. So quickly I'm going to jump back to last Friday when the Warrior volleyball team took on, at that time, ranked number 7 in the country, Wayne State. The Warriors lost 3 straight sets, but the interesting note out of that game or match was in the final game, the 3rd game, the Warriors only lost 28-26. So, the Warriors are showing some great effort playing against a very good volleyball team. So it's certainly, even though they lost, it's certainly a nice thing to see, the Warrior team playing good against a team that's, against a team that is that good. Moving over to Saturday, the Warriors took on Augustana, lost in 4 sets, meaning they did win one of the games. After dropping the first 2, they won the 3rd and then lost in the 4th. So again, another step in the right direction. They won 1 out of 4 games during that set, or that match. But moving over to Tuesday night, the Warriors took on Upper Iowa Peacocks here in Winona, pulling out a victory in 3 straight sets. Winning the first 25-14, the second 25-23, and finishing the 3rd with a win of 25-18. So certainly a well-needed victory for the Warriors, coming off a few straight losses against, obviously some good teams. But it's nice to see the Warriors get some momentum back, pull out a victory. Some of the highlights from that game: Jessie Peterson had 10 kills, Kathy Loaf had 8. And Fraley added 7, so some great production there out of some of your maybe your top point scorers for out of the Warriors. Shannon McGowan led all players with 21 digs. So certainly a great win for the Warriors.
Yeah, they play Upper Iowa tonight. I'll be actually heading down there in about 4 hours. Actually, 2 hours. Actually, take that back. 3 hours. With a bunch of the guys from WSN. We'll be broadcasting tonight's game. That'll be at 7 p.m. Some of us will be staying the night down in Fayette. Well, a couple of guys will be traveling back and riding back tomorrow back down to Fayette for the broadcast on WSN tomorrow for the Peacocks and Warriors. So you can watch both those games on WinonaStateWarriors.com. We're going to take another quick break. After this, we'll have the world premiere of the Mark Junt story, so stay tuned for this. You're listening to the Warriors Spotlight Show on WinonaStateWarriors.com.
At Hy-Vee, your health is what matters most.
That's why we offer hundreds of organic and heart-healthy foods.
Expertise in disease management and over 100 in-store dietitians. We'll customize a diet and exercise program for you and your family. We're your personal health team, here to keep you healthy and happy.
New friends when you save them money on trucks. Like a new 2011 Toyota Tacoma. Our regular cab is under $21,000. The best-selling compact pickup for 5 years in a row. Making new friends every day at Dahl Toyota in Winona.
This is your celebration.
At the age of 25, most collegiate athletes are married, engaged, or about to be one or the other. Some even have children. Regardless of where they're at in life, something almost all 25-year-olds have in common is that they're usually not collegiate athletes anymore. But then there's always an exception. Mark Junt is that exception. He's the oldest player Winona State has ever had. We sat down with Mark and found out how a period of loss and pain has given him the chance of a comeback. Mark Junt has always been an outstanding athlete. Whether it was basketball, baseball, football, or track, Mark did it all, and he did it well.
Probably in high school my best sport was track, but had talked to some schools about southern schools where track is big, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Texas, Arizona, ASU, but just didn't want to move far away from home, kind of a mama's boy, so I knew I wanted to play football. I didn't enjoy track as much, even though I was better at it. And so wanted to stay home and wanted to play Division I. So the only option in Minnesota is the University of Minnesota. So I made my mind up early that I was going to go there.
A dream came true when he was offered a scholarship and title of preferred walk-on for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Without second-guessing his decision, Mark attended the U of M in the fall of 2002, and although he was so close to home, it was a whole different world.
Coming in there as a kid, seeing all these kids from all over the country, and they're all jacked up and ripped, and I'm just a little kid from Woodbury, Minnesota, and I was scared, I was intimidated, didn't know if I could compete with these kids, but after the first couple weeks, I was right up there with them, and I knew I could compete with them, and I was glad I made that my choice.
He seemed to have it all.
So I redshirted my freshman year, had a great spring game after my freshman year, led the team in catches and yards that game, and was really excited going into my first year of eligibility to play. Ended up playing in every game that first year of eligibility as a walk-on, and then due to one injury in the Sun Bowl that year versus Oregon, I got to start my first game at wide receiver. So second year was awesome. Third year came in, another good year, played in every game again, another Music City Bowl, this time versus Alabama, and another win. So three for three there. Loved it, had a great time, made friends, got to play in the Big Ten stadiums and big crowds, and treated like a god over there. Everything's for free.
But shortly after, Mark's all-time high followed his all-time low when doctors found a lump on his mom's lung. She was later diagnosed with lung cancer.
Before knowing about my mom being sick, didn't have any worries. I was just a carefree 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid. And when you find out someone that close to you has a sickness like that, puts everything in perspective, and, football doesn't matter as much. School doesn't matter as much. All you care about is your family.
Even on the field, things started to fall apart. His playing time went down for reasons he still does not know.
And it was just like, is it worth it anymore, all this time? Because it's a year-round job, 365 days a year. It never stops. So, I started weighing my priorities. Mom's getting worse off. You can see her, fading away. So, I just had to make up my mind what I wanted to do.
Mark was facing a decision that he now describes as one of the hardest decisions he'd ever have to make. But at the time, it was a no-brainer. After the second game of his senior year, he quit the team.
It was a hard decision and tough, and, I regretted it, right after, because I missed it so much, but it was just something I had to do.
With football gone from his life and only a few credits short from graduation, Mark was able to spend the last months with his mom. Linda Marie Jund passed away on July 2nd, leaving behind a son who was eager to get back onto the field, but now didn't have the support to do it after losing his biggest fan.
It was my mom bringing me to practices, and my mom bringing me the games, and then my dad meeting us there. So, in baseball, she kept the scorebook, and football, she was there an hour before the game, before the team even got on the field. So, she loved sports. Football was probably her least favorite, but, since I loved it, she loved it.
Being part of Warrior football had always been on his mind. He even thought about joining the Warriors in the fall of 2006, but him and his family needed some more time to heal. But more time to heal ultimately meant more time away from the game he once lived and breathed for.
As the days pass by and you're not practicing and you're not talking to coaches, you start to realize that, hey, this is going to be it. Watching college football on Saturdays and seeing my friends still playing at the U, watching other guys and being like, I can still do this. Why am I not? And that's probably, I was doing 7-on-7 leagues and stuff, just anything to stay involved, personal training, anything to stay involved with football. And then come 2008, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I ended up moving to Florida, Orlando, to try out for arena football. And so while there, I tried out for Orlando's team and Tampa Bay's team, and had a really good tryout. And then a week later, after tryouts, the league folded for a year. Now they're back, but so I just couldn't catch a break.
Back in Minnesota and at a new crossroad in his life, one of his friends approached Mark about playing at WSU.
And Colin's like, you don't love your job, why don't you go back and play football? And I go, I don't think I can. I don't think I have eligibility. And he goes, I'll find out. Well, that was like a Saturday. On Sunday, I have a call from Coach Braun down here, who's a graduate assistant last year. And he's like, hey, we checked on it, you got eligibility left. We'd love to have you come back.
Once again, it was the lack of support that had him doubt his chance of a comeback.
think I only had 2 people tell me to come back. Everyone else was like, just give it up. You're old, you know, just stop. You got to stop sometime. There's no reason to go back there.
Except, Mark wanted to go out on his own terms, and so he came to play his last collegiate football season at Winona State as a Warrior wide receiver in 2009 at the age of 25. And as it turns out, 25 was not too old to play.
So he had to get in here and get going with spring practice and really find out if he could still do the skills necessary. And it took him a while to do football stuff. Being in great shape is one thing, being in football shape's another. But it took him about 3 or 4 months, and he was ready to go.
And he wouldn't be just a one-season Warrior.
In college football, you get 5 years to play, a redshirt year and 4 years of playing. At the U, I used a redshirt year and 3 years of playing. So I had 1 year left no matter what. And that was last year that we used. So then, you know, we hit that 5th year and it's like, is he done or isn't he done? Well, we had to petition the NCAA to get the last year at the U removed when I only played in the first 2 games. So that is a process in itself. The reason we filed it was because a lot of people know my mom passed away in July of 2006, but I quit in September 2005. In November of 2005, my grandpa passed away. And then in January 1st, 2nd of 2006, my grandma passed away. So in 3 months, I lost my grandma, my grandpa, and my mom. So it's called a hardship, and that's what we filed with the NCAA.
Being part of a team like the Warriors has not only given Mark a comeback of a lifetime, but also a second family, and a life many 25-year-olds can only dream of.
It's like a family here. Love playing with these guys. It's more like backyard school football, playing with these guys. You come out here and you can goof around, you know, but it's also a job. And then, you know, we're a good team. We're very talented. The guys are great. And it's just awesome to be out here on Saturdays playing games. You know, while my other 26-year-old friends are working jobs, married, you know, I'm out here living college all over again. And I know they're jealous because they talk to me about it all the time. So it's great to be out here going on road trips, flying down to Carson Newman. I mean, this is the life for a 26-year-old. I got my whole life to work, so why not play while I can?
His mom is always on his mind. He sports several tattoos in her remembrance and even has her initial on his cleats. And although it is hard for him to see other players with their family after the game, he says the amount of love he receives from coaches, teammates, and the community doesn't even come close to what he experienced at the U of M.
But then after I quit the football team, it was like totally shunned, you know. No one talked to me, you know. I know they know my mom passed away. I didn't get a letter, an email, a call, or anything. So it was kind of just like, you know, you're here, we care for you. Once you're gone, you know, who cares?
But not at Winona State.
I feel like I could go talk to Coach Sawyer about anything, you know, not football, my personal life, class, anything. I can go in his office right now and he'll be there and I can sit down and talk. At the U, you know, you're dealing with egos and personalities, and I'd be afraid just to say hi to my head coach at the U.
Division I football is a business. It flat out is. There's no question about it. It's the way it is, and that's why I really enjoy working at the Division II level, because we actually do get to have a relationship with our players. We do care about them in a way that it's bigger than football. We're a little bit more balanced with academics and athletics and all that, and trying to get kids to be have a great experience and really to be a part of everything in our program, not just the football field. And our kids love that fact, and I think we create that close bond that you don't get at the Division I level.
After many ups and even more downs, Mark feels he has finally reached a steady, happy, and good place in his life, with his mom watching him every step of the way.
She would say she's proud of me, and you know, she loves watching, because I'm sure she does. And just go out there and, you know, don't let anyone say you can't do it just because you're old. I'm out here every day going hard, and you know, these younger kids are getting hurt, missing practice. My old body is still holding strong. So I know she's just sitting down watching me and, you know, proud, and go out there and do your best.
Number 83, Mark Junt, the exception of a 26-year-old football player in Division II sports, is ready for a 6th and final season as a Warrior.
I'm just very thankful for Coach Sawyer and the coaching staff, you know, to take a chance on a 25-year-old kid last year that hasn't played football in 4 years, to believe in me and give me the chance to come out here and compete. You know, and the guys and my teammates just for accepting me and allowing me to come out here and try to play with them and compete with them, and, you know, just accepting me into the family, even though I showed up on the first day of camp last year and, just accepting me as a player and a person and, being there for me.
To catch a game of Mark and the Warriors, please visit WinonaStateWarriors.com or simply be here at Maxwell Field on October 2nd when WSU faces Minnesota State Mankato. Thank you for joining me here for another edition of Warriors in Focus. I'm Annalie Schmittel.
When you want the freshest produce around, you want Hy-Vee.
From homegrown fruits and vegetables
To a wide selection of organics.
The berries are the best, but personally, I'm a big kiwi fan.
You know, the darker the greens, the better for you.
Now this is good fast food.
Are you looking for great off-campus housing? Great River Management and Sales has a large selection of houses and apartments representing many of Winona's property owners. Owners and renters rely on Great River Management. Stop by the Great River Boat at Main and Broadway and see what we can do for you.
This is the Warrior Spotlight on the Warrior Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Warriors Spotlight Show. I'm Don Veith. We're going to talk about soccer here. Josh Auerbach still here with me in our studio, I guess you can say. And, we had a couple games this weekend, Bemidji State and Minnesota Duluth. What should we be expecting this weekend from the Warriors?
Starting off today, I believe the Warriors play Bemidji State tonight. Should be a good game. Bemidji State currently has a record of 5-0, 2-0 in the conference. It really should be a good match for the Warriors, even though obviously the Warriors soccer team is very good this year. One player they're going to want to watch out for on Bemidji State is Ashley Ellefson, who currently has 4 goals this season. So that might be the player the Warriors want to key in on a little bit tonight. Also this weekend they'll be moving over and playing against the UMD Bulldogs. Which should be another tough match, or another good match for the Warriors here. So some good action this weekend for the soccer team.
Yeah, it's a kind of unusual weekend. Normally it's a Friday, Saturday weekend, but it's actually a Saturday, Sunday weekend. I'd be expecting the team to be leaving here tonight from Winona. It'll be at 1 o'clock. Will be the game tomorrow at Bemidji State, and then Sunday 1 p.m. in Duluth. So a bit of a long haul for the Warriors. One person who's been really quiet so far this year is the Warrior leader, Lawrence Sturdivant. No goals so far this season. Does have 1 assist, and that was recorded in the victory over Regis. That was a 1-0 game about a couple weeks ago. You always see her name in the headlines. I know in the press notes they have a whole page dedicated to her, and she's not too far off from the all-time leader in goals, and the expectation was that she'd probably cross that plateau. And hopefully she does, but it's been a very quiet year so far from her.
Certainly it's probably one of the bigger stories, that you may think about with the Warriors. Coming into the season, you really thought maybe she'd be scoring a few goals by now. Played 6 games already, no goals. Certainly something kind of shocking. It'd be nice to see her get that first goal and maybe get a little bit more confident. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's the other teams that are really keying in on her. She just isn't getting the looks. I know in some of the games I've seen, it seems like every time, her feet touches that ball, the opposing team is, right there in front of her, not giving her an open look at the goal at all. So it really seems like the other teams have her number this year.
Yeah, the Warriors have played a very tough schedule so far. They've played 2 of the top 5 teams, Grand Valley State and Metro State, earlier this year, both 0-1 losses. All their games have been extremely close, within a goal, actually. You look at your schedule, you got, I'll just read out some of the scores: 0-1, 1-0, 2-1, 0-1, 1-0, 2-1. So every one of these games have been a nail-biter for the Warriors. I know, talking to assistant coach Brian Ufile, he doesn't really like those closer games. He'd like to kind of, take care of business, get the games done with. But, as fans, we enjoy the close games, but I think the coaches and players rather see a more wide open margin.
Yeah, certainly. It's kind of maybe a little bit not something we expected this year. If you look at how many goals they've scored, looks like they've scored 6 goals on the season out of 6 games, averaging a goal a game. Certainly kind of surprising, and it's not necessarily one person in particular that's been. It's kind of that's a good thing to see. It's been a kind of a team effort here for the Warriors. Looking at who scored the goals, junior Jordan Strege is leading the Warriors currently with 2 goals. So it's a nice balance. It seems like it's kind of spread out as far as where the offense is coming from. In one way you can look at that's a good thing. More of the teammates are involved. But it's also kind of an interesting thing seeing that some of your, especially Sturdivant, the player you'd expect this year to really be scoring and carrying the offense for the Warriors. She really hasn't gotten that first goal yet. So certainly something to keep an eye on as we move forward throughout the season.
Another note about this weekend's games: Miniature State 2-0 this season, 5-0 overall, currently tied for first place in the NSIC. Minnesota with 2-0 in the NSIC, also in that tie for first. Also in their overall record, Deuces and about 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. So that's your weekend outlook for the Warriors. We'll take another break. After this, we'll have some more Warrior talk here on the Warrior Spotlight Show.
At Hy-Vee, your health is what matters most.
That's why we offer hundreds of organic and heart-healthy foods.
Expertise in disease management and over 100 in-store dietitians. We'll customize a diet and exercise program for you and your family. We're your personal health team, here to keep you healthy and happy.
Power, intensity, courage, teamwork, reaching back for more, knowing you're a champion. That's our purple. Winona State Athletics. Find your purple.
This is your celebration.
We are turning on the lights, so come out and wear your white. Support Warrior football as we host Minnesota State Mankato on October 2nd at 6 p.m.
We are Warrior Volleyball, and we need you in white. For our match against Northern State at 4:30 just before football.
We are Warrior Soccer, and you should start with us October 2nd.
Wear white to 3 Warrior events in one day. All the action starts at noon.
We are warriors, born from the light, an army for freedom, defenders of light.
This is the Warrior Spotlight on the Warrior Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Warrior Spotlight Show. I'm Donovan Josh Auerbeck alongside of me here on this Sunday. This Sunday we got something going on, but this Friday morning here at Winona State University, talking about Sunday golf plays this weekend.
Yeah, certainly. Men's golf will be back in action starting on Sunday as they compete in the NSIC RMAC crossover tournament in Gothenburg, Nebraska. Seems like the fall golf season here is starting to wind down a little bit as they enter some tournament play, so should be an interesting weekend there for Warriors golf team.
Going over the broadcast schedule for this weekend tonight, you can watch the Warrior Volleyball team on 106warriors.com. We'll have a direct link to our home broadcast. We'll have our own home broadcasters down in Fayette, Iowa. Tomorrow you can listen to the game on 89.5 KQL, and that's also going to be simulcasted on 106warriors.com. We'll have some cameras and the whole boatload down that way for a video broadcast. You can also watch that one on 106warriors.com. Soccer, I'm sure you'll be able to watch on the web on NMTV. There's a link right on top of our webpage for that one. And I think that's going to be about it for our broadcast for this weekend, going across the board. Josh, what things to look up for Winona State?
Starting with tonight in the volleyball game, as the women's volleyball team plays Upper Iowa in Upper Iowa. They're coming off that big victory on Tuesday night here in Winona against the Peacocks. Obviously, a nice confidence booster, maybe the beginning of some momentum here as they continue on with their season. So watch for the women's volleyball team to continue, hopefully with another win tonight. Moving over to football tomorrow, also in Upper Iowa. I think this is, it's a game the Warriors should really win, but I think it's kind of an important one for them to win as well, especially going into that stretch over the next few weeks with a tough competition. The football team had that tough loss last weekend against St. Cloud. I think they really need this game this weekend to build up their momentum again, get their confidence back up, put a bunch of points on the board, and put a nice game under their belt and get some momentum going into this tough stretch of games that will be coming up over the next few weeks.
Couldn't agree with you more. Also, soccer, tough pair of road games up in Bemidji and Duluth. So keep following us throughout the week on WinonaStateWarriors.com for stories, scoring updates, and our videos and broadcasts throughout the whole weekend. For myself, Josh Overbeck, this has been the Warrior Spotlight Show. I'm Don Veith, and I hope you will enjoy another broadcast with you guys next week, same time, same place.